Thanks for stopping by. So I'm Aaron Driver. I'm the Academic Director of LabNext70 at the University of New England. LabNext70 is our applied AI and innovation lab, and we drive all the AI decisions. All of AI and innovation has been pulled out of the technology function at UNE and given a separate life of its own. And the lab itself is responsible for implementing AI at the enterprise level, building next generation AI fueled learning experiences, and also productization and taking things to market as well. So what am I going to talk about today? I'm going to do some slides, just some context about what we've done at UNE and the sort of the method behind the madness, so to speak. Then I'll do a demonstration of our enterprise platform, which we launched in February, and we've now got somewhere between 80 and 90% of full-time staff using that platform on a near daily basis. So we've gone from a shadow AI use entity, everyone using their free chat GPTs and whatnot, to a fully thriving AI literate workforce. So that's the story today, and then we'll just take questions for the second half. So what were our sort of win conditions, I guess, when we set out on this journey late last year? And why did we just go with Copilot, right? Why did we just not turn Copilot on or do what UNSW has done, which is just turn on ChatGPT for education? So we wanted sovereign control. So yes, data sovereignty, which is obviously required, but we also wanted control of our own destiny. We wanted choice of models. We wanted choice of tools and tasks. We wanted AI assistants and agents grounded in our own sources of truth. And we wanted to be able to take control of our future, not just sign up with a single vendor and take it from there. So we see this as a sort of a cognitive infrastructure era. So by embedded intelligence, we mean assistants sitting in the workflow of all of our professional staff and our academics. It's mostly out of interest, it's our professional staff that have adopted it most enthusiastically. There is certainly a core of academics who have, and then no surprises, probably there's a core of academics who are quite opposed to it. But what that means is we want AI assistants sitting in the flow of finance approvals, research synthesis, course design, marketing assets, travel planning, right throughout the organisation. And our goal has been to turn our employees from consumers of apps to builders of capability with AI, and that's pretty much where we've got to. And we're trying to treat AI as a core capability, as an asset, not just some sort of software bolt-on that you might with Office 365 or something, for example. So we saw that integrated suite pitch like Copilot that felt safe because it mirrors that legacy procurement, like the one vendor, one model, one interface, but safe is ceiling performance for us. You can't, a single generic model set, for example, like if you just go with Copilot, you're stuck with the OpenAI models, for example, that can't reliably handle those high stakes tasks with great variance. So we wanted everything from procurement thresholds to compliance nuance, research rigor. We wanted a broader range of tasks than what a single vendor could give us. And we just saw that single vendor solution as safe, but a trap ultimately. And so that's why we didn't go that way ourselves. I'll also just a little comment on safety theatre. There's a lot of talk, there's a lot of theatre, a lot of performative talk around safety with AI. 100% you have to get your data sovereignty, you have to get your data privacy, you don't want your people being trained on, you don't want the data leaving the state, and so on and so forth. We meet all of those requirements, but I think a lot of it's overblown. Like we met those requirements and shipped, right? And we did it, and it's not that complicated. So I guess if there's one sort of takeaway I would say is that we're happy to talk to anyone who's after, you know, more evidence or more detail on how we did it. But I think the safety theatre is overblown. I think all this is quite achievable. It's not as hard as a lot of people think it is. So software. So the other approach we took is it's not just a matter of dropping some software. Something this big, it's a fundamental change in how knowledge workers do their work. And you know, half the planet right now is grappling with how to do that and how to work in a new way with AI. So it's not just a case where we could just drop some software down and have some chat islands, people just chatting. We needed a doctrine. We needed a framework to actually implement this and make it work. Without internal capability building, our staff remain users and not these creators we want them to be. And then This gets back to the point about what we're actually doing here is building the cognitive infrastructure for our institution, right? So if we just offload that to a single vendor solution, some training, and then just let everyone go, we're essentially outsourcing our organization's cognition in a lot of ways. So that's why we took it as a real strategic asset and went for that. So what was our doctrine? So we based it on control, curate, command. So our first thing is control the environment, right? So we want a sovereign platform. We want control of all of our identity and permissions. We want our own auth, our own audit trails, and our choice of models and tools. So we have choice, as I'll show you in the demo, we have choice of all of the Claude models from Anthropic, all of the GPT models from OpenAI, and all the Gemini models from Google. Plus we have pretty much every open source model you could want. We have all the Meta Llama models as well. In terms of choice of tools, we have hundreds of MCPs that plug our AI assistants into different data sources, into different data sources, but also into different platforms. So sovereignty was a big one for us. Then curate the knowledge. Grounding beats guessing. That's one of our things. Obviously, hallucination's a big deal, and it's something that has to be dealt with. But again, there's a lot of theatre around this, right? Like hallucinations, they're a bug, but they're also a feature, right? If these models couldn't hallucinate, they wouldn't be creative. Wouldn't be generating solutions that we need them to generate. So grounding beats guessing means just making sure that whenever you're performing a task, your AIs are grounded in your data, grounded in your official sources of truth. Our staff know not to just ask the model questions and then take it for rote. They need to run a deep research. They need to pull in sources. They need references. They need to check and verify. Grounding beats guessing. So the curating the knowledge is really important. So policy as code is another sort of feature that we've sort of concentrated on. So, thresholds, forms, approvals, all the policy stuff, all the governance stuff, that can be encoded so that assistants, the AI assistants, can give us really consistent, enforceable guidance and product compliance artifacts, just making sure we can do it all properly. That's in the whole curate sort of framework for our change management. And then finally, command the outcome. So what we do is we do all the standard change management, right? We do communities of practice, we do newsletters, we reach out to key influencers and making sure they're on the platform, making sure they're excited. Like I'll do individual onboarding with the CFO and the COO and the DVC and the VC, where we make sure all the key people are using the platform and really engage with it. There's a lot of little ins and outs for any change management program, right? But one of the big things we did is we actually, in the lab, we hired a team, or we trained and built up our own team of prompt and context engineers. So when a business unit wants to build an AI solution, sure, we've taught them how to fish so they can have a crack at it themselves for something simple. But anything that's involving a complicated workflow, they submit a ticket and we build it for them. And when we build it for them, we know it works because we test it, but more importantly, we teach them as we build it. So they learn from the process. So it's not enough just to give tools this different to people and expect it to just magically happen. You have to support them and bring them along. So control, curate, command is basically what sort of gave us the quick wins, I guess, in 6 months or so. So that implementation engine is basically the arsenal of tools, the staff co-creation, all leading to faster wins. So it sort of all piles onto itself. So I will now give us a demo of the tool, but it's just worth mentioning, if you're interested in all the things we're building, we have a fortnightly newsletter that we send to all staff and people external to the university. And that literally, it's literally like, here's a new tool you can use. Here's a new MCP you can use. Here's this latest assistant we've built that does X, Y, or Z. So it's just a really good way to sort of have a look at how we are just pumping out AI solutions on a daily and weekly basis. And also, if anyone wants to get in touch with me personally, that's my email. So feel free to get in touch. I will attempt to go to screen mirroring now. And we're going to jump into Magic. So our enterprise platform is called Magic. It was named after, how are we going for time? It was named after Sir Robert Magic, who's the founder of UNE. And he was the original innovator. He was the first person in Australia to offer distance learning. And then we were the first university in Australia to offer online degrees, purely online degrees. And now we really see AI as that third strike. That's the next big one. That's in our culture of innovation, in our DNA. So how does this work? Okay, so what I'm going to do is going to put on a number of different hats. I'm going to put on an academic's hat. I'm going to put on a marketer's hat. I'm going to put on an admin staff person's hat. And I'm just going to jump in and do little different workflows just to give you a look at how all of our different staff work in different workflows in the enterprise. So the most basic AI assistant we have here is my Googler. I have a lot of assistants, right? AI assistants. They're not dissimilar to a GPT you would create, a chat GPT with a persistent system prompt and knowledge files. So I could just run a search like so. So basically, I'm just searching for the latest information, and it's going to use Google search, which is a skill we have built into the platform. It'll pull in over 100 links and synthesize and spit out the best results. So we're at that point, like, why would you use Google anymore? You don't have time to read 100 links, but this does. So there's some information, right? It's pretty standard. But what I want to do is dig into some more of the sort of more advanced workflows in the platform. So in this one, I'm going to put on a marketer's hat right now. I'll just get that started. I'm going to call up a different assistant, my AI Chief of Staff, Victoria. And I'm going to use a different model as well. So you can see all the different models we have here. These are the large language models. For this sort of image creation, I'm just going to use Claude 4 Sonnet. So I've switched assistants and I've switched model. And now I'm going to check all the tools we have available. And I just want to make sure that GPT image is turned on, which it is. I'm going to use Nano Banana as well from Google. So let's get that to work. But essentially, we're using GPT image to create a photoreal picture of a laptop on a desk next to a steaming cup of coffee. On the laptop, if the text on the laptop is the text, you wouldn't believe what UNE is doing next. So Victoria's off to work on that. While that AI is working there, I've got another one. Oh, I've repeated myself on that one. This is going to, I'm going to make a video based on the image we generate here. So I'm going to save that. And then I'm going to jump into here. I'm going to use this learning designer over in this session. So I think that's the right one. Yeah, so what I'm going to do here is I've got this academic designer, which is an AI that is designed with best practice pedagogy, best practice understanding of the courses we're teaching and our target students and all that sort of stuff. So it's a completely different AI to the one that's making the image. So I'm going to suggest I'll just get that to work. I'm going to put Gemini 2.5 Pro on for this one because that's the model with the largest context window. And I'm going to get that one to work. I want 3 engaging tutorial activities for an AI ethics and business course. And I want description, time, resources, deliverable, and feedback mechanism. So I'm now being a learning designer, right? And I'm being a marketer over here. So while that's working, I'm going to jump in and I'm going to be an academic researcher. So I'll grab this prompt and I'm going to build that in. I've got another prompt here and I'm going to use a different AI called academic researcher. Now this academic researcher has a system prompt. I could show you that briefly. I go into the system prompt. World-class researcher striving for factual accuracy, tool usage, cross-reference findings between different tools to identify consensus and discrepancies. It's a high-quality researcher. So I'm not going to alter that prompt, but I'm going to get that one to work. I'm going to use Gemini 2.5 Pro on that as well. So here we're conducting a mini literature review on AI-driven student engagement in online learning just in the last 3 years. And you can see it's using the academic search tool, which is an MCP that our AIs can plug into, and it pretty much searches every paper, title, and abstract on the planet. So it's very broad. So it's found 20 recent sources on that subject, and we'll let that work. We'll jump in. Yeah, I'm not very good at using AlphaFold, but we also have an AlphaFold session here. I'm going to use academic researcher for that. I want to check if there's a structure for the protein. I'm going to just go with Claude because it's quicker. I want to know if there's a structure available for this protein. So searching that using academic search, we'll see if it finds it. If it can find it, we'll hopefully get an image out of it. And then we've got some really basic ones I'm going to do at the end just to kill time, but I'll come back to those. So we've got our information about HEFest, which is great. I could ask the AI to write me a LinkedIn post promoting my talk. All right, get that to work. Over here, we've got our image that's been created. So you wouldn't believe what UNE is doing next. It's nice on the image. Thanks, that's great work. So I want to do some more work with this image now though. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to jump back in. I'm going to grab this prompt. So what I've done previously is I've already generated these images previously. So I'm just going to grab that from this file here. So I've got this laptop image, right? That's the same from the previous generation. I'll just use this one. And I've got a picture of Bullabimba, which is our historical building where the Vice-Chancellor hangs out. So I'm going to drag these two images into the tool. So I'm asking here, I'll just get that started. I'm asking now to use the Nano Banana tool to combine the two attached images. The Bull building picture should be placed on the laptop screen, replacing the text, and then put the text at the bottom, basically. So the AI is off to work doing that. So now I'm back in the marketing hat, right? I'm creating some marketing content that might be good for socials, right, to promote something. Or if I'm a lecturer, I could be generating an image for a lecture. Or if I'm a professional staff member about to make a presentation on the latest student enrolment figures, I could be generating something for that. So then I can jump across in, now I have an image. I'm going to grab that image again, the laptop image that we just created. Use the image to video tool to zoom in on the text of the laptop screen. Make it nice, smooth, zoom in, hold, start out wide, zoom in. So I'm just going to get that to work as well. So if we jump back over here, hopefully we now see that our laptop has been changed from this to that, right? We've had the image. That sort of granular control over images is super handy if you're in content creation. So now we've got, a nice output there, but I might say something like, UNE's logo is green. That's great, but use Nano Banana to make the text green with black outline. So I'll just put it back to work there. We can see over here now that we're having a video created based on this text. If we jump over here now, we see the academic designers created, the learning designer, 3 activities for this course on AI ethics in business. It's got everything. It's got the formatting exactly as we want it, time, resources, deliverables. So let's have a play with that. So if I jump into my notes, what I want now, I want to use I'm going to change assistants here. I'm going to go back to my chief of staff. I'm going to go to Claude because I finished researching, so I just want a quick model that's going to use the tool. I want to use the video maker tool to create a 1-minute video that acts as a teaser for these 3 learning activities. Okay, the target audience is uni students. Actually, I'll get it started. The target audience is university students who are about to do this course. Also, oops, I forgot to attach the images. Okay, let me stop that and try that again. That might mess it up. I forgot to drag the 2 images in because I actually want these 2 images used in my video. Let's see. That might not work now. I'll have to come back and see. Meanwhile, we now have our academic papers summary written by the academic search tool. We've got a whole bunch of papers. We've got an annotated bibliography in APA 7 style. And I could pull out any of these papers and have a look at them, right, online, pull them in through the library account, whatnot. In this case, what I'm going to do is going to turn this into a podcast. So I've got a podcast creating assistant, and I'm just going to say, Claude Sonnet, please make, I'm just going to say hi to the podcast assistant first. You can see I've switched assistants mid-chat. So how can I help you? Please make podcast from this content to speakers, male and female, humorous, 1 minute long. So the AI is off to work there. So it's, I could be again creating content for someone. I can have a listen to that once it's done. The AlphaFold has done the research. I'm not going to worry about the AlphaFold because I'll get stuck in there. Oh, we have a video. Okay, so here we go. So sort of zooms in. It's the sort of thing you could drop on socials, right? It's just simple. I mean, a year ago, you'd be paying someone $1,500 to do that, and it'd take a week and a half, right? Now you can just do it in 5 minutes in your AI platform. So that's a sort of nice, simple thing that we can get going there. This image, this teaser video, I'm not sure how that's going to work. I don't think it's going to integrate. I'm not sure if it's going to integrate those images because I interrupted it midway through, but we can hope. And over here, it's turned out text green. Okay, so, you know, it's very precise control. I have one other one in history, which I'll just show you just because it takes a long time for it to run. So this is a data visualization assistant. You can see here, data visualization. I've uploaded some pre-census commencement figures and I've asked it to do a data visualization. Here's the code and I can just pull into that. I can go to view as full screen and I've got, you know, all the different courses with the different, you know, rates of attrition and, you know, someone in future students could just use this to know which courses to target. I could share this, right? I could actually share this with by clicking the share link and I could share that with other people in my business unit. I could share it for presentation. So there's a lot of data analysis and these sorts of tools that we give our staff as well. I've lost my full screen here, haven't I? Let me drag that up. So it's taking up the whole screen. And I think we kind of get it. I'll throw to questions now, but I just want to make sure. So that's kind of finished up. We got that video that's finished up. We'll let this video go and we'll see if we can get it to play by the end of this session. And we've got my podcast now. So this is...
All right, Rachel. I've just waded through a 3-year literature review on AI in online learning. My brain feels like it's been put through a data scrambling algorithm.
And your conclusion is Skynet is coming for our homework?
Worse, it's already grading our homework.
Anyway, so that's like a little podcast based on that literature review. That's exactly what Google Notebook LLM does. Some of you might have played with that. But the advantage is it's in your workspace. You don't have to transfer your information across to Google. You've got your data sovereignty locked down. Google's not training on your intellectual property. You can use it based on anything you're working on at any time, right? So that's kind of sort of, I think, a nice sort of, I'm going to let that video hopefully build and throw it open to questions, I think. Do you want me just to take questions? Or
yeah, no, absolutely.
Yep.
All right. I just wondered if you could expand a little bit, though, on uptake, because I know we corresponded a bit and there's some pretty amazing stats.
Yeah, thanks for that, Jim. I appreciate that reminder. Let me jump into the back end and show you some of our analytics. So this is a 30-day rolling average. So we've got 126,000 messages exchanged between staff and their assistants on a 30-day rolling average. We can see the models they're using, right? Like our staff are choosing, only 14% of our staff are using ChatGPT. Like when given a choice, people don't use ChatGPT because it's just not the best model for most users. These can show the images they're using, the top MCPs, the top sort of skill calls, number of sessions, and that's our token usage. We're in the billions of tokens. So the other adoption factor I would show you is, if I jump to billing, we only have about 1,200 full-time staff, probably another 1,000 casual, but we're at 1,197 users on the platform. So we're approaching pretty much saturation with our full-time staff. Last time I checked, our staff had created almost 3,000 assistants. So it's like watching a new way of work unfolding. I love to sit here in the dashboard and you just see hundreds, thousands of people working in a way that didn't exist a year ago. And it's pretty exciting to see. I can show you the logs, which, whoops, I accidentally put that to sleep. If I look in the logs, you can see all the different assistants being created in real time. Some of them have pretty funny names, so I might not show them here publicly. But it's fascinating. You'll see someone working on a marketing assistant, someone on a student retention assistant. Everyone's just built, like, the people who know best how to solve the problem, the people dealing with the problem every day, and they're the people we have building the AI solutions.
So given you are probably the first institution to have 100% staff usage, how's it changing the institution? What's your plan for world domination?
So we're testing it on students at the moment, and the early feedback is students love it. So that's something we're testing. In terms of plans for world domination, I think what I'm seeing, and this is anecdotal, but I'm seeing that everything is being done more quickly and more efficiently. Someone needs a business case, it's done in under an hour. It doesn't take 2 or 3 days to get that business case. Someone needs a media release, it's done in 10 minutes. Like, if you compound that through an entire organization, everyone gets more done more quickly at a high quality. And the VC's been quite clear about the fact that he's not looking to replace. We don't have a replacement mindset, we have a deployment mindset. So if you can free up time, you can redeploy to high value tasks. So that's kind of where we're at, yeah.
So questions?
Yep.
On the models, there's quite a diversity of models there. How did you teach staff? Because they all do different things better than.
Yeah.
And that's what you did, like you use Claude for things that are simpler and so on.
Yeah.
How did you teach staff what they do? Because that's a big part of being effective with AI as well as choosing.
Yeah, so that was our bad initially. We didn't do that because we just live and breathe it. So it's natural to us. And staff were like, which one should we use? So now there's a model catalog. So you can actually go, oh, I've got to do a classification task. This is the best model that's recommended for that task. Creative writing, these are the best models. But we also, in our newsletter now, we say, there's always a little thing that says current recommended models are Gemini 2.5 Pro for reasoning, Claude 4 for quick daily driver use, GPT image, and Nano Banana for images. Beyond that, just explore it and experiment. Yeah.
So I have one more question, sorry. Just on the assistants, did you say that they built, sorry, thanks. Did you say they build their own assistants or that's something they do with you?
They build their own. So you just go up to assistants, create an assistant. You're putting in your title here, uploading any files that would be necessary, and then you just put in your system prompt. You can choose which tools you want your assistant to use. You can choose which models you want your assistant to default, and that's it. It's super simple. Like when we run courses on best practices for designing assistants, and the ones we'll help with are where you've got a structured workflow. So you need an assistant to do 16 things in step. Like most people can't prompt that up. But you know, a standard assistant also, like if you come to instructions, show templates, there's a whole bunch of sample prompts here, right? So you've got a personal assistant prompt here straight away, or if you want to start with a researcher and so on. It's not, again, a lot of these things are pretty achievable as long as there's sort of an institutional commitment to it. No worries. Us.
I find this fascinating. I am not as AI literate as I want to be. I'm curious to know, how did you get people on board to use any of this? Because we currently use Copilot, but I don't even know the maximum ability. I don't know how to prompt things properly. I'm assuming what you just showed is kind of like a way of allowing people to navigate their way through in a more user-friendly manner. For someone like, I don't use AI as much as I should, I think maybe to try and make things a bit more efficient and effective. But how did you get people across UNE to get almost to 100%? You know, what was the influence? How did you go about it?
Yeah, so lots and lots of training. So the developers of this platform are actually Newcastle-based developers, and they have a retail platform called SimTheory. And we're the first enterprise version, and we're building it with them in terms of enterprise. So we've partnered with them for what's called the SimTheory Academy. So it's a ton of basic entry-level training. This is how you chat to an AI. Oh, we've just done a prompt, but you're going to reuse this prompt, right? So why don't you put that in an assistant so you don't have to type that prompt out every time? Just really basic stepping people through that. But it's a really good point. Like one thing we have noticed is now that we've added these MCPs and VIC tool calls, like everything I was doing here was an MCP. So just to get technical for a sec, MCP is Model Context Protocol. It's a new technology that was invented in November by Anthropic, and it essentially plugs your AI assistants into data and tools. So now that we've introduced that, a lot of people have gone, oh, I was barely getting my head around how to create assistants. Now I have to deal with MCPs. So it is a constant challenge. So yeah, I'm not going to pretend we've got that perfect. Like we are seeing a gap in capability in different people in our workforce. So that is an ongoing challenge for sure.
I have a quick one. I heard that you just submit a ticket and we get onto it. So that sounds very exciting to me.
I'm probably over-promising there. Yeah.
How do you, with this level of engagement, which is so impressive and really exciting, how do you triage and prioritize to be able to get on top of those tickets? And or do you say, well, actually, there is a lot of stuff that you can do to self-help to sort of get started?
Yeah, so people won't submit a ticket for creating their own personal assistant, right? Like they're pretty smart about what they do and don't submit tickets for. We have 2 full-time people building those for people, and they've normally got time for more advanced projects too. So these MCPs, right? We're building custom MCPs into CourseLoop and into Callista and into all of our ancient decrepit systems that everybody hates. Now we don't have to worry about the $250 million tech debt, because we can just plug our AIs into all these old data stores and get the AI to talk to them. So we're hoping, we're not sure, but we're hoping we can leapfrog a lot of the tech debt that's crippling so many universities. Just go straight to the data with the AI. Yep.
I think you just started touching on the question that I was going to ask, which is, do you have your core systems running through it so that people can query data in real time and find out all of the things that they ask, say, we're from business intelligence, a team on a weekly basis, monthly basis, how many students do we have, what is our faculty cohorts, all of those sorts of things.
Yeah. So MCPs are 2 weeks old in the platform. We literally just dropped them 2 weeks ago. So right now, if you had to work in BI, you'd turn on screen sharing. So you can just share your screen with the AI and it will just read what's on your screen and give you analysis of your BI data. I could do that, but I shouldn't share BI data. I'd get in trouble. But so that's one way around it. What you're looking at really are your humans. Then you've got your orchestration layer of AI assistants, and then you've got your legacy systems. And you just want to be sitting there talking to your AI assistant saying, hey, go into CourseLoop and pull out the plan for a major in economics. And then go into the SRM and pull out this student's history and synthesize the two and write me an email to that student. Now put it as a draft in my outbox for me to review. So we haven't added integrations with the Office suite yet. We're currently building those. So it'll be within a month, maybe 2 months, we'll have full Office integration. So that's kind of a bit of a nirvana that we're working towards.
This stuff's fantastic. You've talked about the tech debt and how you're getting over around that. What about the other impediments that all of the institutions have, policy, committees, subcommittees, working group, all of that stuff, which just blocks up the system.
Yeah.
Are you also working on that so that you don't get acceleration then hitting walls?
Yeah, I forgot to include this example. We actually have a policy tool that you can take 2 policies and it'll combine those into a single policy, outputted like our policies are as a draft for the policy review committees. So we have a lot of those sorts of tools. We also have things like if I have to copy that, if I drop in this thing, I have to travel to Newcastle for an alumni fundraising event. Can I drive my own car? That is, I'm not searching models, I'm searching assistants. I've got a couple of different here. It's travel procedures, right? So I can just, I've used the reasoning model, so it'll take a bit longer to answer. But there is an initiative using AI underway now to distill policy and simplify the bureaucracy of the institution, and it'll happen so much quicker with these tools. But in the meantime, we're giving these tools to people to navigate policy and governance and bureaucracy. And there you go, it's just telling me what I need to do as per policy, right? And I can just, reference it all here, right? I can click on it view it, verify it, that sort of thing.
Aaron, this is incredibly impressive. Not having a great sense of context behind it all, how much has UNE invested in this to make it happen? What does it actually look like in dollar terms to set up something like this at an institutional level? Yeah, good question. So if you were to go to the Sim Theory platform, and encourage you to check it out, simtheory.ai, that's where you can essentially get this as an individual or cheaper than ChatGPT, really. But if you wanted to do this at the enterprise level, you're going to need a single tenant installation, right? You don't want a multi-tenant because you want your own tenancy. So we're on an Azure infrastructure in New South Wales. Data's encrypted in transit, encrypted at rest, and the models are hosted on Azure and AWS in New South Wales. So we meet all the data sovereignty, PII stuff, got all that squared away. So that'll cost you 50 grand, right? It's not a big spend to get your single tenant set up. And then you're paying token burn. There's no price per seat because that's where you get ripped, right? Because you got 1,000 staff members using it 3 times a month and you're paying $30 a month for it. You just get ripped. So we've got a deal where we pay token burn. Obviously, there's a percentage on top of the token burn for their margin so they can run the platform. But yeah, so if staff don't use it, we don't pay. So in terms of figures, we're at about maybe 200 grand for the year so far. Yeah, so not much. Yep.
How do you decide which models you're going to put into the platform?
Yeah, good question. So like DeepSeek, we don't use the CCP hosted version of DeepSeek, right? We don't generally give the meta versions to staff either because they don't have as stronger guardrails built in. Generally speaking, we will preference models we can host in-state and we'll go for whatever's the best, right? Yes, yeah, absolutely. So we have control at the API level for safety triggers. So if someone's trying to do not safe for work or self-harm, we'll get triggered from the API. We'll only use models that have those triggers and we can control those triggers, control the sensitivity of those triggers. And, any PII will only go into a model that's hosted in state and so on. Yeah. Yep.
Thanks so much. It's really interesting to hear about academic expertise and subject matter experience being brought enterprise-wide for these sorts of changes. I'm interested in whether you're seeing it or not, the university being singled out as an employer of choice for the changes it's making.
Yeah, it's a good question. So we have been so busy building, we haven't really just looked up and taken the time to market what we're doing. So this is actually, thanks to Tim, this is the first time I've actually spoken publicly about what we're doing. I mean, we've done demos for different universities privately, but I think that's going to come. Like I've already had staff go, oh, I don't want to leave. I'm leaving. Can I please bring Magic with me? Like it's a thing that, and I'll go to events and people literally come up to me and say, I love Magic. I love talking to my assistants. It makes my life so much easier. Who talks like that about their work? Like the word love doesn't get used, especially technology. But yeah, so I think it definitely is becoming a factor. But I think it's probably a 1 or 2 year thing until we see the results. Yeah.
Just a quick question from me. How has it shown up your hardware and bandwidth issues?
Yeah, so because we're hosted on a separate Azure infrastructure, it's a good question. We're as secure as any Office SharePoint thing, right? We're just running on the same Azure infrastructure that your Office 365 is running on, but it's separate, so it doesn't affect any of our other systems at all. So
everyone's laptops are up to speed?
Yeah, but
turning away well?
well, it's a web browser, so as long as you can serve it, I'll just kind of try to play this video. It's only
artificial intelligence is reshaping business, but who ensures it's used responsibly?
So this is based on
in
this
our
chat,
AI
right?
ethics course. You won't just study theory; you'll lead.
It's
Join
incorporated
the
the
AI
images I
Dilemma
gave it.
Council, an executive simulation where you'll confront a crisis, like a biased hiring algorithm, and make critical decisions under pressure. Then, enter the bias audit simulation. In this hands-on lab, you'll use interactive tools to dissect AI models, investigate loan approval and criminal risk systems, uncovering the hidden biases that cause real-world harm. and learning how to design more equitable technology for the future. Finally, unleash your creativity with the Black Mirror pitch. Your team will analyze recent AI scandals and develop a compelling pitch for a dystopian episode, exploring long-term societal impacts. This course prepares you to navigate the intersection of AI and corporate
You can see the
responsibility.
marketing value.
Are you
right?
ready?
Like, spin up a course, market it, off you go. And you could do like 50 variants and just flood socials with it. Actually, we should do that. But yeah.
Given the stuff that you can create using this, how do you ensure stuff is on brand and
Yeah.
not saying the wrong thing?
Full disclosure, we haven't released this one to staff yet. So like, and every time we do an information session, we're always like, make sure you check with marketing, and we can also create assistants that are aware of all the brand guidelines, have them loaded up as like knowledge files, and you can run your content through that and get it approved. All right. So there's a lot of solutions to that, but we're literally about to put these tools in the hands of marketing like next week. On time?
Fantastic.
Yep.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.